else excellent was Enlightenment. Freaking love this. Now, it's been a long time since I've seen Enlightenment, right? It really has. And I would say it's near perfect Doctor Who with a slightly better, with a script editor, I think, who would understand Doctor Who better. It would have been perfect, right? Here's the thing. Doctor Who is often, there's a lot of things going on with Doctor Who. You got the currents of the world that you're in at the time. That's actually the big thing, because Doctor Who is always, I think, cutting edge in entertainment and reflects where you are at the time. And also the currents, which all reflects on the show. So you had like the fun, silly stuff with Douglas Adams, but which was very, very popular, right? I think that's how there's a bridge between the end of the Hinchcliffe Holmes era, and you get season 15, season 16, which are okay, but certainly Douglas Adams appears, right? And it becomes magical, right? And a Pirate Planet is where he shows up, and it enters a golden age for a little bit. Well, it's deemed to be too silly, so it swung back, and Chris Byamede, who then as the script editor, followed by Eric Saywood, who and so Eric Saywood was very much following the hard sci-fi of Chris and Byamede, right? They wanted to move away from the silliness of the Williams Douglas Adams era, which was a bit of a pity, really. But what you got, and I said I've been really enjoying season 20, was really good, interesting, deep sci-fi idea after really good, interesting, deep sci-fi idea. Ones that could only really work in Doctor Who, right? So season 20, what are we going for right now? You had Arc Infinity, which was a bit of a cack. You know, there's no way of really sugarcoating that. It was a bit of cack, right? That's the only way of really describing it. But after Arc Infinity, what do you get? Hang on, it's was that Mordred Undead? Was the next one here? I got my season 20 Blu-ray, but no, it was Snake Dance. Snake Dance, very good hard sci-fi, right? Really good, interesting, weird sci-fi ideas. Followed by Mordred Undead, which is a really good, interesting sci-fi idea. And again, one that can only really work in Doctor Who. Then Terminus, which I was surprised how much I liked. And now we're up to Enlightenment, which is, again, they could have just pushed the romantic adventure of it, which it had the scope to do, would have made it absolutely perfect. But as it stands, pretty darn excellent, right? I think it's the TARDIS team really at their pinnacle. Just lost Nyssa, and now they're on this weird boat race through space with these Eternals. So you got lots of these weird ideas hitting you all at once, and they all work, right? I like how each boat has its own era, and firstly, the way they unfold the story, I think really, really works as well. It's the biggest detriment to it is the black and white Guardians, even though it's written in with Enlightenment quite nicely, it like dovetails into it well. But they're a bit clunky within it, but everything else I think just shines, like absolutely shines. Weirdly enough, right? I watched the special edition first because I like the movie edit. The edit of it's excellent, but the special effects they did in, was it 2006 or 9 or whenever it was, have aged so much that the original effects look more convincing. Like that special edition needs new special effects for the new special effects. Sadly, right? Sadly. But other than that, it's great. Captain Rack steals the show. What's the name? Let me pull up a Doctor Who Enlightenment. Let me pull up the Wikipedia page. I'm never going to remember. What's the name? Sims. Is it Sylvia Sims? She was. I mean, no, I'm thinking of what's it called again? Was it a couple of years later? Was it Linda Barron? Oh my God, I mean, from Open World, she is fantastic, and this is a story of many battling wonderful cleavages. Right, we got Tegan's incredible, wonderful cleavage. We can see a little bit in this poster, and Captain Rack's wonderful cleavage. But again, I love the Eternals. Right, they're bored and they're fascinated with the ephemerals. Just again, these really great, strong ideas. So in of itself, it's a great little story, right? It is an absolutely great little story. And it does, it wraps up the Black Guardian trilogy's stories, I think, quite well, right? It gives Turlough, I mean, Turlough, you know, it's getting a bit boring. And this is just a third story of him walking around looking sneaky, right? And also sneaky and somewhat pathetic to the Black Guardian. It's like, hey, they can't do it. They're there. For fuck's sake, Turlough, pull your bloody finger out. I can see why the Black Guardian got pissed off with him. But again, the sailing ships in space, it's an idea I think only really would work in Doctor Who. So it's such a fantastic story in of itself that makes it worth it. So fine. So what do we get on the disc? Pete Davidson, hugely underrated, the Doctor, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm so enjoying this box set, right? Going through it. We got the updated special effects, the new 2023 effects, exclusive of Blu-ray in SD, right? I think they just standard definition, which really annoyed me. Like, again, I guess we were about a year out for the AI upgrade. Audio commentary, the Peter Davison, Mark Strickson, Barbara Clegg, and Fiona Cumming. It's the other thing. Was it a female writer and director? And it really works, right? For the especially for the Davison Doctor. And again, you have a very feminine point of view, which it just goes to show you, right, how much they screwed up with the Jodie Whittaker years, right? Because that could really work. But if you want to see great female sci-fi or listen to it, Bernie Summerfeld, right? They really need to try to start plugging that and selling that as box sets. It's actually criminal that they don't. I wish they could do a streaming service. Fine. So recording 2010, isolated music score. I don't really care. Megan Doctor entry. Winner takes all. These are great talking heads, right? These are they're certainly talking head documentaries, but it does fill you in. It gives you an idea of what's going on, when they're making it. Cast featurette. Oh yeah, so they started filming this apparently with Brian. Like entertaining actor with they ended everything. No, Brian Salis was. They didn't record this because this was remounted because of industrial action. Writer featurette. There's like a 5-minute interview with Barbara Clegg. Visual effects featurette. Again, the original effects for me work better than the updated effects, right? And again, that they only upgraded the updated effects to SD is just, it's criminal, right? It's really genuinely criminal in my mind. Oh, my internet's looking dodgy. Once again, really? Come on, internet, you can do it. Storyboards, they were on the original DVD. It's okay, nothing really interesting. Breakfast Time, the Doctors, Peter David and Patrick Troughton appear. There's a lot of these sort of pepper throughout these discs. Patrick Troughton is a really interesting guy to get on Pebble Mill. And it's always much, is it Pebble Mill or is it Breakfast Time? Breakfast Time. It's always much more interesting remembering that Frank Boff was a coke fiend, right? Which you didn't really understand at the time. But Frank Boff being a coke fiend, especially is very there's a very prickly interview with Tom Baker as he was leaving Doctor Who, I think, with Frank Boff, special edition version. It's a great edit, right? Again, it was put together by Fiona Cumming, the director. Re-Enlightenment and making of, which is actually pretty interesting. Easter eggs, they're just little bits and bobs, right? But again, another standout disc in a box set of standout discs. I thought season 23 was my favorite Blu-ray box set right now. Season 22, I should say, was my favorite Blu-ray box set, even though the stories weren't that great. It was from the timeline of man, Perry looked fantastic in them. But this one is, again, the strength of the stories, this really introspective, interesting science fiction. And which became, I think, the hallmark of most of Peter Davison's era, right? Because when it worked, did it work well? My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.